Hi everybody, welcome to Facebook Live Friday. I hope you all are doing well and having a good day, good week. We'll let some of you start hopping on. Give you a minute. Not seeing anybody. Comment if you're here, say hello so I know this is working. Please.
I just now got a notice that you came on.
Okay. All right, well, while you guys are hopping on, I just want to make a couple of notes before we get started. First, if you haven't seen our post on the page, I posted yesterday a little graphic and it says, how did you get into trucking? And if you have time and you'd like to share, please comment on that post. I'd really like to know how you guys got in the trucking industry, how you guys started for purposes that I'll talk about later. So if you are willing to share your story or if you have an interesting story, please let me know on that post. Also, I wanted to give you an update on the podcast. I know we said we were going to have one and it's been like months and we still don't have one out there yet. It's just been a little tricky, but it is coming soon. This week I was able to record several episodes with some really special people, so I'm really excited to get that out. We'll have like 6 episodes, I think, coming out. We'll do it, we'll release one at a time, of course, but that is coming, so be on the lookout for that. I'll post links so you know where to go, so you can listen to those if you're interested. But other than that, I don't have anything else, so I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it on over to Cheryl. If you guys have any questions, please let us know in the comments. If we can't get to your question or if we don't know the answer to your question, please have some grace and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So here we go. Get started, maybe. Okay.
Got it? Okay. Hey. Happy Friday. I hope everybody's having a great day. Our weather here has been pretty gloomy for the last week, and it's supposed to be gloomy for another week, I think, and maybe the weekend is supposed to be nice from what I'm hearing. So hope everybody's being safe out there. We got a couple of things we're going to talk about today. So first off, on the COVID front, some new things were released through the CDC, where basically their recommendations are if you are vaccinated that you don't have to wear a mask. So I want to talk just for a minute about how that's going to affect us as a company. In the terminals, what we're getting ready to probably do, we'll be announcing this in the next couple of days if we do go ahead and decide to do that. When you come in, if you've been vaccinated, you're not going to be required to wear a mask. Of course, we're still going to do the social distancing. We don't know who's been vaccinated and who has not, so please be mindful of that. You need to make sure that you're still following safety protocols. As far as everybody on the road going in and out of customers' facilities, just because the CDC released that, that doesn't change anything with us as far as that goes. We are still need to abide by whatever regulations the customers that you're going into have in place and their safety protocols that they have in place. So please be mindful, just because that new information came out, states are continuing to open, those kind of things. That doesn't change what we do when we are servicing our customers. We still have to go by everything that they currently have in place. So make sure you're still following those guidelines. If you have any questions, call and ask, but it's been the same. They've got those protocols. It's going to be very easy to tell when they, if they've changed anything or not when you're going in. So be mindful of that. It seems like it's slowing down some. I still have, people trickle in every week or two. I have somebody, that will call in and say that they've tested positive. So just make sure that you guys are still doing everything, and following CDC guidelines to protect yourself. One of the things that we're going to talk about today, I guess before I get started on that, does anybody have any questions with anything to do with that? I was trying to watch mine, but I can't multitask. There's no way I can do that. So.
We do have a question. It's not really about what you just said, but maybe we could get it to somebody who can help. It says, we need a QC Mac. What does that mean for the HAS checklist? What's the QC Mac?
Let me see if.
We're checking it out. Hold on, guys.
Oh, a Qualcomm macro. Is that what you're saying, Holly? You need a Qualcomm macro to be able to do the HAS checklist? I'm sure that's what
Sorry.
Sure that's what Holly is saying. So
sorry.
Holly, let me get with them. I know the point of it on calling in to do the HAS checklist is to be able to actually have your paperwork in front of you, and then the dispatchers that you're going over with, have the checklist in front of them, and they're asking the ID number and all those kind of things to make sure the paperwork is right. So I will put your question to the people that can do that, and maybe they might reach out to you to see exactly what your suggestion would be. We appreciate that. Hopefully that answered your question. Jake is answering a Qualcomm macro. I just had to figure out the lingo, okay? It just took us a minute.
I know, I was like, wait, what does that mean?
I had to think about it for just a minute.
We don't work in ops. We don't know.
That's right. It's been a long time. So thank you, Holly. We'll see what we can't do on that. So here's one of the things we wanted to talk about. I'm not sure if everybody was aware, but this week in Joplin, they kicked off our CSA Safety Blitz campaign. And so we had some people from Arizona here. Several of the ops people were over there, along with some people, Donnie, Andy, Wade, Chris, were all over there, and they were doing the CSA Safety Blitz. One of the reasons why we do that is just to make sure that you guys are ready for when you get DOT inspections and things like that. So I wanted to go over some lists that Andy gave me this morning on some things that they found, and let you know some information that's coming up on that. So on the CSA Blitz, a couple of things, there's 4 things that they look for. They're going to look at DOT type equipment inspections, which our Joplin mechanics do. They look at the equipment and make sure that it is compliant with DOT regs. They do a DOT safety inspection. That's done by either Andy or Donnie, and there's a checklist that they go over when they do that. So, they're going to be looking at things like the credentials. Do you have all the credentials that you need? Do you have on your permits the hazardous permit book, the truck permit book? They look at all of those things to make sure that you have those available. They look at your hours of service. They look at, do you have your DOT reference card, your blank logs, those kind of things. Shipping papers, they're going to look at the placement of them. If you have your hazmat shipping papers. And then ERG, they look at the date of the ERG. I think that's the yellow. Yep, that's this yellow book right here. They look to make sure that's good. Placarding, if you have anything placard, they'll check your placards to make sure they're right. And then load securement as far as seal and things like that. So they have a checklist that they go over for that. They actually give a little hazmat quiz to the drivers, and that's just to boost hazmat awareness. And if you score really good on that hazmat quiz, they are handing out swag. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then they actually review the Lytx dash cam for any events. There's going to be a lot of information coming out on Lytx and the dash cams as far as events and stuff. That's going to be coming out probably within the next 30 days. So watch for information that's going to be coming out on that. Some of the things that they found for the most frequent through the week for people that came through with corrections or coachings that they found on things that could have been fixed. On equipment, the most common things that they found that were maybe not in compliance was tires, lights, and federal inspections. Those were the most frequent things on equipment that they found any corrections on that needed to be done. Another thing was drivers need to have a written route plan for all 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 explosive loads. I think the thing that they were talking about on that is they had several drivers came through and they thought our Qualcomm routing would work for that. It cannot be electronic. It has to be a written route plan for explosive loads. And this is what that form looks like. And that is going to actually be in your driver manual, your big black driver manual. That's in I think that we was looking, and I think that's in tab 8 of that. So there's blank forms in there if you need them. If you can't find them in your driver's manual, then reach out to Andy or JD and they can provide those to you, or your driver manager. The ERG book must be with the shipping papers. So the orange little ERG book, this book has to be with your shipping papers. That's one of the things that they found. A lot of people had the book in their truck, but it was not with their shipping papers, and that is not in compliance with what they require. So make sure that that is there. They did say that they've had 3 citations on that within the last month. So be aware that book has to be with your shipping papers. The permit books must be up to date with printed permits. So once again, one of the things they found on this is, people were having on the new RMG app, you have your permits on there. Having that electronically does not put it in compliance. So those do have to be printed out in those books. So that was one of the things that they found. Do we have any questions so far? Okay. So your hours of service DOT reference card, the hours of service card, cab card, which is this little card, that should be in your cab. That's one of the things that there was issues with. This has to be accessible. So I had to ask why, because it's been a really long time. So I guess it has to be accessible so the DOT officers know how to utilize the Qualcomm. So make sure that is in your cab and accessible. That's a violation if it's not. Your blank log pages, we have the electronic logs, but you have to have 8 days worth of blank log pages that are in your possession. Those are also in tab 6 of the driver's manual. So make sure you have at least 8 days of the blank log things accessible things. The log sheets, the blank log sheets. And one other thing, you're supposed to have a tri-state security contingency plan, which is going to look like this. Several pages. That is also one of the things. They're in the process of updating this, and it will be updated within the next 30 days. So when they do that, they will notify everybody, send out the new ones. In the meantime, if you do not have one of these security contingency plans, you need to reach out to Andy or Jake Dooling, and they will get those to you. So Andy Bradford or Jake Dooling, if you reach out to them, they can get those to you if you do not have them. Any questions?
Yes, it doesn't really pertain to this, but Steven will take care of it. He says, can you please remove me from your send list? I'm retired now. So
don't let me forget. We will do that. Thank you. So one of the things, the reason why they're doing the PSA Safety Blitz is to boost awareness and prepare the drivers for a DOT roadside inspection. One of the things that they talked about with the drivers that came through, the drivers said that they were now more confident that they were better prepared for a DOT inspection if they had that. That's the whole purpose of doing this, is so when we do get DOT inspections, we pass them with flying colors and we know what we're looking for. So, one of the things on the hazmat quiz where they're handing out the swag, ask around to see what kind of swag they were giving. That's pretty cool. So that's one of the things that you need to look for. They are going to be having another CSA Blitz, and it will be in Plattsburgh, New York. Going to be from June 15th through the 19th, which should be a Tuesday through a Saturday, that they will be doing that. So be prepared for that and aware of that. That'll be a fun thing going on in Plattsburgh. So if we don't have any more questions, okay, I don't think I have anything else. So once again, we just appreciate everything you guys do. So thankful that you are out there working and doing the best that you can do. Remember that we are always here to help. If you have a question, please call in. Somebody, if they don't know the answer, they will get you to the right person to get you the answer. But, we want to provide the tools that you need to be successful. Just be willing to reach out and ask if you need help. So there's a lot of things I know on, has questions and stuff like that. If you have placarding questions, you know, you can always reach out and talk to Jake, Andy, you know, Jake or Brandon, Donnie. Those guys can help you with any questions you have like that. So have a great day. We hope everything goes good, and be safe out there. Thank you.